In the land of snow and steel, where the Atlantic winds cut through December nights, a dynasty would one day rise. But before the glory came the struggle. The story of the New England Patriots doesn't begin with greatness. It begins with chaos. In 1960, the Boston Patriots were born into the wild world of the old American Football League, the AFL. They played in borrowed stadiums, wore hand-me-down uniforms, and fought for relevance in a city that barely noticed them. For decades, they were the underdogs no one feared. They lost more than they won. They had moments, flashes, but never a foundation. Fans came, fans left. There was talent, yes, but no structure. The Patriots were like New England weather, unpredictable, gray and harsh. Every dynasty begins in the dirt. For the Patriots, the ground they stood on was unstable and freezing cold. By the 1980s, they had finally earned a shot at greatness. Led by coach Raymond Berry, they reached Super Bowl XX in 1986. For a moment, hope flickered. Then it froze. The Chicago Bears crushed them 46-10. It wasn't a football game. It was an execution. That loss didn't just end a season. It broke a spirit. After the Super Bowl humiliation, the Patriots drifted. They changed owners, coaches, and quarterbacks like New England changes weather. Controversy followed them like a shadow. Scandals, locker room chaos, and even a near relocation to St. Louis. They were this close to disappearing forever. The 1990s came. The age of flashy teams, megastars, and high salaries. The Patriots had none of that. They were small market, small budget, and small in dreams. In 1996, under coach Bill Parcells and quarterback Drew Bledsoe, they clawed their way back to the Super Bowl, but fell again, this time to Brett Favre's Green Bay Packers. They were good, but not great. They were fighters, but not killers. By the end of the decade, the Patriots were, once again, lost in the storm. In the winter of 2000, a man in a gray hoodie and quiet stare arrived in Foxborough. His name was Bill Belichick. He didn't look like a savior. He didn't talk like one either. Belichick was known for two things: defensive genius and failure as a head coach in Cleveland. When owner Robert Kraft hired him, the media laughed. Fans shrugged. They thought it was another mistake in a long line of them. But Belichick had a plan, one that few could see. He studied the organization like a scientist studying bacteria, detailed, emotionless. He dismantled egos, broke habits, and built something that resembled order. Belichick didn't need stars. He needed soldiers. Players who followed the mission, not the money. He taught discipline like it was religion. He built a playbook that felt more like a war manual. It wasn't about talent. It was about trust. Trust the process. Trust the system. Trust the team. But a system is nothing without a heart. And Belichick was about to find his. That same year, in the 6th round of the NFL draft, the Patriots selected a skinny quarterback from Michigan, pick number 199. His name, Tom Brady. He wasn't supposed to matter. He ran slow, threw average, and looked like a kid next door. Even his draft photo looked unsure. But inside, something burned. Something relentless. Brady wasn't the most gifted, but he was the most obsessed. He memorized playbooks like scripture. He studied film until dawn. He trained as if every throw was his last. He told Robert Kraft on his first day, "I'm the best decision this organization has ever made." It sounded like arrogance. It wasn't. It was prophecy. The 2001 NFL season began like any other. Drew Bledsoe, the established star, was the quarterback. Tom Brady was a backup. Then, fate intervened. Week 2, against the New York Jets. A brutal hit knocked Bledsoe out. internal bleeding, near tragedy. And suddenly, a skinny, untested kid from Michigan took the field. No one knew it yet, but football was about to change forever. Brady's first few games weren't spectacular. They were efficient, controlled. He didn't try to be a hero. He executed the plan. And that's exactly what Belichick wanted. The two men clicked immediately, the perfect balance of mind and muscle. Belichick built the system. Brady ran it like a machine. They didn't win with flash. They won with focus. By mid-season, something had changed. The Patriots were no longer just playing football, they were dictating it. January 2002. The Patriots, underdogs, afterthoughts, faced the mighty St. Louis Rams in Super Bowl XVII. The Rams were modern football incarnate, fast, glamorous, explosive. They called themselves the greatest show on turf. The Patriots? They were methodical, unremarkable, emotionless. But as the world watched, Belichick's defense dismantled the Rams' brilliance piece by piece. Tom Brady, calm as ice, drove the Patriots down the field in the final seconds. No panic, no flash, just purpose. Adam Vinatieri lined up for the kick, 48 yards. The ball sailed through the uprights. The clock hit 0. The Patriots had done the impossible. Final score, 20-17. The dynasty had begun, not with fireworks but with silence and discipline. That night, the New England Patriots didn't just win a championship. They introduced the world to a new definition of greatness. They weren't the loudest, they weren't the fastest, but they were the smartest. And that was the beginning of the formula. After their first championship, most teams would celebrate. The Patriots built a system. Bill Belichick didn't believe in luck. He believed in preparation. While the world celebrated Tom Brady's Cinderella story, Belichick was already back in his office, watching film, pencil tapping on the desk. His philosophy was simple, but absolute. Do your job. No one was bigger than the team. No one. Superstars were replaceable. Discipline was not. Every player side, from quarterback to kicker, was held to the same standard. Show up. Work. Execute. Belichick ran the Patriots like a military unit. Every detail mattered. Every second of practice was tracked. Mistakes were studied, not punished, because knowledge was power. While other teams looked for stars, the Patriots built systems. Their success wasn't based on highlight reels, it was built on precision, on trust, on doing the little things right over and over again. Between 2001 and 2004, the Patriots won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. They didn't just win games, they suffocated opponents. Each victory was methodical, almost surgical. Brady became the ultimate field general, emotionless, efficient, unbeatable. He didn't scream, he didn't celebrate, he just executed. In Super Bowl XXVIII against the Carolina Panthers, Brady drove the Patriots 68 yards and won 21, setting up another game-winning kick by Adam Vinatieri. They won 32-29. 2 years later, another 24-21 over the Eagles. The formula worked. The dynasty was real. Belichick's Patriots weren't just disciplined, they were intelligent. Every player studied film like an assistant coach. Meetings felt like college lectures. They didn't just memorize, they understood. Opponents feared the Patriots not because they were stronger, but because they were smarter. Every game plan was a chess match, and Belichick was 3 moves ahead. When he faced a superstar, he didn't try to stop them, but he erased them. In the 2004 AFC Championship, they shut down Peyton Manning, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, intercepting him 4 times. It wasn't luck, it was design. Belichick's formula combined adaptability and control. The team could play ugly and still win beautifully. To the Patriots, football wasn't chaos. It was controlled violence. By 2005, the Patriots had achieved what most franchises dream of: 3 championships, a national fan base, and a reputation of invincibility. But greatness has a price. In 2007, Belichick changed everything again. The Patriots acquired Randy Moss, one of the most gifted and misunderstood receivers in NFL history. With him came transformation. Tom Brady went from efficient to explosive. The system went from quiet precision to roaring dominance. They didn't just win, they obliterated. Touchdown after touchdown, record after record. 16-0. The first perfect regular season in modern NFL history. Brady threw 50 touchdowns. Moss caught 23. Every Sunday felt like destiny. Fans and critics alike believed this was the greatest team ever assembled. They didn't just beat teams, they broke them. Sports writers began asking not if the Patriots would win the Super Bowl, but by how much. And then came Super Bowl 40, February 3, 2008. The New England Patriots faced the New York Giants. David versus Goliath, except this time, the roles were reversed. The Patriots were unstoppable. The Giants, just another speed bump on the way to perfection. But football, like life, is never certain. All game long, the Giants' defense harassed Brady. They broke through the wall, play after play. The score stayed low, ugly, tight. Then, the play that defied gravity, logic, and the dynasty itself. 3rd down. Eli Manning breaks free from the sack. He throws deep, and David Tyree pins the ball against his helmet. For a moment, time froze. That catch, the helmet catch, would live forever. Minutes later, the Giants scored. Final score, 17-14. Perfection shattered. The dream gone. In the locker room, silence. No tears, no yelling, just the echo of disbelief. In one moment, the greatest season in NFL history became the greatest heartbreak. Even before the loss, shadows had begun to gather. In 2007, the Patriots were accused of filming opposing team signals, a scandal the media called Spygate. Belichick was fined. The team penalized. The dynasty's reputation scarred. Critics said their success was fake, that they'd cheated their way to greatness. Belichick said little. Brady said nothing. They let the field speak for them. The next seasons were turbulent. In 2008, Brady tore his ACL, gone for the year. The empire looked fragile, but the system held. Even without their leader, the Patriots finished 11-5. Belichick's formula proved itself again. No star, no problem. A dynasty built on one man is fragile. A dynasty built on a philosophy endures. By 2010, Brady was back, sharper, hungrier, calmer. The fire still burned, but it had changed color. He wasn't chasing fame anymore. He was chasing time. And for Belichick, the next decade wasn't about proving others wrong. It was about building something that would never die. Between 2001 and 2010, the Patriots didn't just dominate football, they reprogrammed it. Every championship was a calculation. Every loss, a lesson. Every snap, another line of code in the formula. And while the rest of the league tried to copy them, they never could. By 2011, the Patriots had won everything, except peace. After a decade of dominance, the league had caught up. Younger quarterbacks, faster offenses, louder teams. The NFL was changing, again. But New England didn't panic. They adapted. Belichick rebuilt the roster, quietly, precisely. He turned undrafted rookies into starters and role players into legends. Tom Brady evolved, too. He wasn't just a quarterback anymore. He was a general, commanding the field with a veteran's precision and a killer's calm. But there was still something missing, something the Patriots hadn't felt since 2004. Redemption. Super Bowl 67 gave them a chance. A rematch against the New York Giants, the same team that broke their hearts in 2008. And yet, history repeated itself. A tipped pass, a missed catch, another heartbreak. The Giants won again, and the world began to whisper, was the dynasty over? But inside the Patriots locker room, there was no despair, only determination. Because Belichick's formula wasn't built on winning. It was built on responding. It all came back to one mantra: do your job. The 2014 season began like a storm. Critics said Brady was too old, that Belichick had lost his magic, that the league had moved on. Then, after a humiliating loss to Kansas City, Belichick faced the media and said only 4 words: "We're on to Cincinnati." The message was clear. No emotion, no panic, only focus. And what followed was one of the most iconic runs in sports history. That season ended in Super Bowl 37 against the Seattle Seahawks, a team of youth, power, and confidence. The defending champions. The game came down to a single play. The Seahawks, 1 yard away from victory. The world expected a run. Then, the throw, intercepted by Malcolm Butler. Foxborough exploded. The Patriots were champions again. After 10 years, redemption. They didn't win by strength. They won by preparation. It was more than a game. It was proof that the formula still worked. Discipline, trust, detail. And it was only the beginning of Act 2. Super Bowl LI, February 5, 2017. The New England Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons. Halftime score, Falcons 28 and Patriots 3. The world laughed. Social media exploded. Even Patriots fans began to lose hope. But not Brady. He didn't yell. He didn't panic. He just said, "Let's go." Play by play, yard by yard, they clawed their way back. Precision, timing, faith. By the fourth quarter, momentum shifted. You could feel it, a storm brewing in the silence of Atlanta's fans. Then, James White, touchdown, 2-point conversion, tie game, overtime. For the first time in Super Bowl history, the game went beyond regulation, and in overtime, Brady completed the impossible. Final score, 34-28. The greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. From 28-3 to immortality. Tom Brady raised his 5th Lombardi trophy. Bill Belichick smiled, barely, but in his eyes you could see it. The formula was complete. By 2018, the Patriots were no longer chasing greatness. They were greatness. Super Bowl LaFree. Another victory, another ring. 6 championships, equaling the Pittsburgh Steelers' all-time record. But even dynasties fade. Tom Brady was now in his 40s. The league was faster, younger, and the partnership that defined 2 decades, Belichick and Brady, was nearing its end. In 2020, it happened. Brady left New England, signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For many, it felt like the end of an era, the closing of a book that defined a generation. Belichick stayed. Brady left. But neither forgot the formula. And when Brady lifted the Lombardi Trophy again, this time in Tampa, Belichick didn't frown. He didn't clap either. He simply nodded, because he knew that victory was part of their legacy too. They didn't break apart. They expanded the dynasty's reach. Today, the NFL looks different. New heroes, new dynasties. But the fingerprints of the Patriots are everywhere. Every modern team, from Kansas City to San Francisco, carries traces of the Patriot Way. Discipline, adaptability, efficiency. The formula lives on. In every coach who studied under Belichick, in every quarterback who grew up idolizing Brady, in every player who learned that details win games. Gillette Stadium still stands, a monument of discipline in a league of chaos. Its banners wave not just for championships, but for consistency, endurance, and belief. Because greatness isn't built in a season, it's built in a system. The Patriots' story isn't just about football, it's about belief that perfection is possible, that discipline can outlast talent, and that teamwork can outshine fame. Bill Belichick taught the world that intelligence wins wars. Tom Brady proved that faith fuels miracles. Together they built a machine, one that didn't just win, but changed the game itself. The formula was never a secret. It was there all along, in the details, in the silence, in the work no one sees. This wasn't luck. This wasn't magic. This was the Patriot Way. And that is how New England redefined greatness.